Hi, and today what we're going to be talking about is reading, particularly reading 5 books that I think that you should read in 2019 if you want to grow your business. Now, I once heard someone say that success leaves clues, and one of the ways that success leaves clues for successful people is when a book is written by or about a successful person. Often many years of experience is crammed into the pages of a book like that. Now, a lot of people actually live their lives on autopilot. They just keep doing the same thing every day and never learning anything. And then the same people often wonder, how is it that some other people can be so successful in life, and they might even think that it's because somebody else has been luckier than they have. Actually, it's not quite the case. Now, if you are a business owner, there is still so much to learn, and now there's a lot more different ways to learn what we need to know. Successful people actually keep on learning. That's where their luck comes from. Now, we can learn the successful things on our own through making our own mistakes in our business, and sometimes that route can have fatal consequences on our businesses. Trust me, I know whereof I speak. Or some of this learning can come from other successful entrepreneurs who've done it before, and we use those people as coaches. But, we can learn a huge amount by reading books. Reading is actually the best way of learning what somebody else has done, and then it gives us time to be able to assimilate that information and then do something with it. They can also help us become even more successful by providing the right knowledge, the new ways of thinking, new insights, and actually to help us develop necessary skills for the new age. I spend an awful lot of time reading because that's how I'm actually developing skills that I never had before. These are the ones I think anyone starting or running a business should read. The one that's made the biggest impact on me as an entrepreneur and a corporate warrior is called Drive by Daniel Pink. The full title is Drive, the Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us. In this book, Dan Pink makes a really good case to show that the secret to high performance and satisfaction in life rests with the need for us to direct our own lives, to learn and create new things, and to do better by ourselves, and also to do better for the world. Now, what he calls that is autonomy, mastery, and a sense of purpose. And I'll tell you, it's a really, really good book for getting realigned with your priorities in your business and in life. The second book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, you've probably heard of this book, and I'll tell you why, because it is the best-selling self-help book of all time. It was first written in 1937. Hell, that was even before I was born. And a guy called Napoleon Hill wrote that book, and it continues to challenge readers to improve their lives and their businesses through the power of positive thinking. It's a success classic. And believe me, if you want to get anywhere, you should be reading this. Now, I remember my father reading this book over and over back in the 60s, because he was not the most confident person in sales situations, so he used to read this book. And even back then, I was a real voracious reader, everything. I just read everything I could get my hands on. And I read that book the first time at the age of 10. Now, I've read it many, many times since, and every time I read it, I get something out of it. The messages are really clear, and they're really compelling. Number 3 is the EMyth Revisited by Michael Gerber. 1986 this book came out. You might be thinking, God, doesn't he know that people wrote books after the year 2000? I do actually, but I'm just telling you about some good ones. Now, what the EMyth Revisited does is it explains why 80% of small businesses fail over time and how to ensure that yours isn't amongst those. And the way it's done is by building a little company, big or small, that's based on systems and not on the work of a single individual. As the author, Michael Gerber, says, if your business depends on you, then you've got a job. And it's the worst job in the world. You know why? You're working for a lunatic. Okay? So the whole point of the book is to make sure that the business does not depend on you. Big mistake that people make is thinking that being great at a technical skills also makes you great at running a business. Technical term here, bollocks. It doesn't work like that. That's totally wrong. You've got to get customers. You've got to track and manage your finances. You've got to create advertising material. You've got to answer customers' requests, set strategy, and nothing to do with your technical skill. It's just wrong. So if you plan your business kind of like a franchise that you know you're going to try and get somebody else to come in and run, you'll start making systems for everything as soon as you get a handle on making it work properly. Then that will allow you to pull yourself out, and instead of working in the business, you're going to be working on the business, okay? Very, very different. And that's what we're doing now in Businessmentals. Look, I'm 65 and I don't want to be talking to you buggers when I'm 75. I want somebody else to be doing that, but in a way that nobody's actually going to be able to do it quite like me, but I want them to be able to do it well. And so we're starting to put systems in place, and it really works. Okay, next book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You've heard of this one, Stephen Covey. If you're exploring personal change and you're interested in a holistic approach, I love that word, to solving personal and professional problems, this book should be on your list. Because what Stephen Covey does is he takes a step-by-step pathway for living with fairness, integrity, honesty, and human dignity. Oh man, I'll tell you, it's brilliant. Simple statements like, put first things first, which we have a little thing we call Moscow to help you with that. Must have, should have, could have, would like to have. Sharpen the saw is another one of his comments. Measure twice, cut once. Begin with the end in mind. I'll tell you, it's brilliant. Our online course, which we call Monetize Your Service Skills, kind of follows the 7 habits because, they're universal truths. Okay, moving on to the next book, which is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And this actually is the most successful self-help book. Here's the thing, the most successful leaders that we all know about, like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and all those people, guess what? They've all got one thing in common, apart from having a lot of money. They've all read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Back in the day, a long time ago, late 50s, Dale Carnegie mapped out 30 principles that have stood the test of time. When you're dealing with people, you're not dealing with creatures of logic. You know that. We're dealing with creatures of emotion. Just look at yourself. And what are we motivated by? We're motivated by pride and ego. And Carnegie knew that. And he wrote really simply and really powerfully about it. And that's what I love. I love reading these books where the message is clear and you look at it and you go, I can do something with that. So what he said was good relationships are the foundation of a successful business. And that's what makes this book so important for you to be reading as a business owner, because you're going to learn techniques for enhancing both your professional and your personal relationships while increasing your self-esteem. Next book, Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity by Dave Allen. It's a manual for stress-free productivity, which helps you set up a system of lists and reminders and weekly reviews in order to free your mind from having to remember all those things and instead work on the business and be working at full focus on the bigger pictures. Now look, we've got all these apps at our fingertips, but you know what? We still don't know how to organize ourselves. With all these bloody apps, we still are disorganized. All that happens with an app is we kind of turn up on time. The apps are like an empty canvas. They're still waiting for us to apply the picture of a well-organized life. And small business owners know better than anyone how hard it can be to find and maintain those high levels of productivity. But in the book, what Dave Allen shares is the secrets to increasing your personal productivity. The more you increase your personal productivity, the more you're able to relax. And he's got a great system in there that'll help you achieve it. It's a real total must read. So there you have it. There's the books that I think you could do a lot worse than to read, because you're going to get a heap of things out of it. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It'll help support the channel. And if there's anything more that you'd like for me to talk about, then drop them in the comments. And please join our Facebook group. The link is in the description box below, and I'll answer all your questions there. And don't forget to hit that bell icon and be part of the notification squad to get notified every time we upload, because I respond to questions in the first hour. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll catch you later.